Hello there. Before we get on with the Young's Double Chocolate Stout review, I'd like to say a massive thank you to Dave Powell. Check out his Facebook link here. He saved all my memory on my laptop. My laptop went kaput. It broke on Saturday. Blue screen of death. I thought I lost two very important files on there, but managed to take them around to Dave. He got them fixed for me, salvaged them, basically whipped the memory out of the back of the laptop, plugged it into his hard drive. It was out in minutes. He had this on this USB chip in minutes, so he saved two very important reviews, including this one, which I thought were lost in the depths of time, in the back of a computer forever. But it's amazing what he could do. Thank you so much, Dave Powell. Really appreciate it. On with the review. Cheers. Hello again, welcome to another edition of the Real Ale Guide. Got a special guest on the show today. Is Jim Robinson of Wells and Youngs. Hi Jim.
Hello Simon, good to see you.
Alright, and today we're going to be doing a bottle of Young's Double Chocolate Stout. Just get up to the camera and show you. It is 5.2% ABV. I've reviewed it in the can. Which was sent from America. Should we get it into the glass, Jim?
Okay, Simon. I also have a bottle with me, so hopefully simultaneously we'll do that.
Lovely. Okay. Is there much difference, Jim, with the can and the bottle?
It's really only in the presentation, Simon. The beer itself is identical, but the pub can, as we call it in America, the widgeted can, does make a slightly tighter, foamier head and a slightly softer impression to the beer.
Okay.
Slightly creamier.
Okay. So, in terms of a description, what have you got in your glass there, Jim? It's very... I'm just holding mine up to the light. It's pitch black. I've got a 2-finger head. It's off-white. It's a nice creaminess to the head. You've got the same sort of thing there?
Absolutely. It's dark. You shouldn't really be able to see through it unless you look at a very intense light. As you say, an off-white coloured, a creamy coloured head rather than a white coloured head, and the image of a strong stout as a category of beer.
Okay. Is this one of your inventions at the brewery?
Unfortunately, this isn't one I can claim credit for inventing. It was my very good friend Ken Don down at Young's in London who invented this beer, along with his very famous partner in, I was going to say partner in crime, but I should say partner in brewing, Derek Prentice. And they used a very similar philosophy to the one I would adopt in producing a flavoured beer, which is all about balance. And hopefully, without putting words into either of our mouths before we put beer in, that's what we'll come up with.
Great. Should we get the nose?
As you can tell, I'm suffering a little bit from the seasonal cold, but even with that, even with blocked sinuses, I still get that lovely coffee chocolate.
Absolutely.
Coming through.
It's kind of a confectionery, for me it's like walking into a confectionery shop, like a chocolate shop where you go and you get them wonderful aromas as soon as you walk through the door. But then again, as you say, it's filled with chocolate and caramel, and it also has got a nice smelling stoutiness to it, almost like some of the other stouts that are out there. I'm getting quite a bit of stout.
Yep, I agree, and that is what our job is all about. So yes, it's called double chocolate stout, but fundamentally it's still a beer, and we want it still to taste like a beer. and we don't want it to be too much of a confectionery.
Great. Okay, should we dig in? That's lovely.
And when we're tasting beers, I do tend to drink them slightly warmer. So this is at probably just a little bit below ambient, around about 16, 17 degrees centigrade, which is not the temperature I would drink it at if I was drinking it for refreshment. I'd drink it a lot colder. But what it does do is it brings out those flavors. And again, you've got the coffee, chocolate coming through, but they're not cloying and mawkish. You've still got that very much stout beer background to it. So with the hot bitterness cutting through on the palate, it makes you want to have another sup.
Absolutely. Yeah. I tell you what I like with it, which is you get it, obviously you get more with the taste, is the actual zinginess you get with the carbonation that's in there. That it sparkles on your tongue, the chocolate, the coffee, and it just really helps, doesn't it, with getting all the tastes out of the beer.
Yeah, completely agree. And it is one of the benefits of being able to produce a beer in bottle or can. You can get that zinginess in there with the carbon dioxide.
Absolutely, absolutely. As you say, it's very refreshing. In the summer, I did it last summer. Put a few of these in the fridge, got them down to about 3 or 4 degrees, and they do a great job of refreshing you at the same time, summer or winter.
Yes, in fact, I probably had one of my biggest surprises drinking this beer in America. I was down in Tampa in Florida, and it was something like 90 degrees outside, and we were in a shopping mall with all of the usual Disney character tourist events, and we went into a pub and had a pint of draft chocolate stout, and served beautifully at about 4 degrees, 5 degrees centigrade, and it was just so refreshing and so fulfilling in terms of a beer. It really is a surprisingly good beer to drink almost anywhere at any time.
Yeah, I think I totally go along with that, because it's not a big, thick, sticky stout, is it? It's not. It is quite thin on the with the mouthfeel, so it does. It really does help to refresh you. Some stouts are, if you like, they are very thick and sticky. This is.
I think you're right, Simon. It's a session beer. It's not. It's not a beer that is particularly challenging to drink a couple of pints of. And again, as we were just saying, if it's served cold, a couple of pints are very nice.
Okay. That just about wraps up the review. Thanks for joining me, Jim. Oh, one last thing before I go. Wells and Youngs, have they got anything special coming out this year? Anything new? Any kind of new brews you're planning for 2012?
Well, we're working very hard, Simon, on the McEwan's and the Youngers beers, which we bought last year. So we're very much focused on developing those beers and hopefully reintroducing some cask variants and that sort of thing. And the other thing that I'm personally going to be working on very soon and really looking forward to is the 2012 vintage of our Imperial Russian Stout that we brew to the Courage recipe.
Talking about that, thanks for joining me for this review. Join us for the second review, which will be posted tomorrow. We're going to be posting, indeed, a review of Imperial Russian Stout. Thanks, Jim, for joining me.
And thank you, Simon. Great to see you.
Cheers.
Bye.